Hello, this is Elliot Gemalto. How are you? This presentation is about Sentinel EMS advanced installation. In a previous video, I have listed several optional settings that are available during the advanced installation of the Sentinel EMS Enterprise. The first four I've already provided details about them on another video. And now in this video I will focus on two settings that are available. This one, install customer portal, and second is enable enforcement as cloud, RMS or other. Install customer portal. During the installation, as a matter of fact, not only during the advanced installation, but during the installation, you are getting the optional either to install integrated portal or to install customer portal. Integrated portal means you want everything of the EMS to be available on this machine. And customer portal, I would like only a very small portion of the EMS, which is called customer portal, to serve end users to be using the Sentinel EMS remotely for activation, revocation of license, so I can decide. Now let me show you what, when talking about portals, what do we talk? At the lower part we see the Sentinel EMS. This is the Sentinel EMS. The functionality here can be viewed via portals. There is a vendor portal, channel partner portal, and customer portal. Vendor portal is the URL, let's say, in which you get into the EMS, and by using this vendor portal you are able, as a software vendor, as an ISV user in the organization, can do whatever you want with the Sentinel EMS. All the functionality that is available in the Sentinel EMS you can do. So this portal goes for users inside the organization. But your organization can be working with other partners, and if you want a partner which is outside of your organization to be working with your Sentinel EMS, and you don't want him to have a full access of everything in the Sentinel EMS, then you provide him with a channel partner portal, and using his user and password, going through this channel partner portal, he will be able to access the Sentinel EMS, but for limited tasks according to his user and password, and according to his products that you define that belongs to this channel partner, etc. So this is a nice view. For channel partners, you would need to purchase an advanced license of Sentinel EMS in order to be working with it. Now, previously we talked about the fact that there is a customer portal, and here you see this is the customer portal that you can install customer portal only if you want. Customer portal is the URL where only the end users will be working with, and this customer portal gives access to Sentinel EMS, but for a very, very limited portion of the task. Which are the portions that are related to the customer portal? Only the ones that relates to end user licenses for either activation, meaning creating a license according to this end user fingerprint according to an end user machine, and the end user can also view what are the license data. The end user can also make a revocation, returning back the license back to the end user, back to the EMS, Sentinel EMS, and the software vendor. So this customer portal is a very limited place where end user can use their licenses and make the communication, the small portion of the communication with the Sentinel EMS. This is a common way where customer portal is divided, splitted with vendor portal. Let me show you. Here, this green arrow is inside the organization. Inside the organization, we see that we have the Sentinel EMS SQL Server and the database, the EMS database. And we have the Sentinel EMS installed here with the Tomcat or WebLogic. Sorry. And they are all inside the organization. Sorry. And a firewall here makes sure that only inside the organization there is an option to be using it. There is another external firewall that makes sure that end users, these customers are the customers of the software vendor, or let's call them end user. This end user can use, can get inside, but via an external firewall, and therefore they are able to use another server which over there only the customer portal is installed. And this customer portal will be using the Sentinel EMS server, but the customer portal will be divided and be placed on outside the organization firewall. So this makes a very good distinguish a very good security design, where you have a firewall for the organization, and the customer portal never gets inside the organization. It is placed outside the organization. Of course, there's another external firewall to make sure that everything in terms of security will be working fine. But that way, you are able to define, please note, you see here, Sentinel EMS is divided here into 3 different servers. One for the Sentinel EMS vendor portal, one for the Sentinel EMS customer portal, and the third for the SQL and the EMS database. Let's talk now about enforcement that can be either RMS or cloud or third party. Now, what an enforcement is. Enforcement, we talked about the fact that there is a license, and this license, this file or this digital string contains the conditions where the application, the license application can work. How long, which are the functionality that are available inside the application, etc. How this license application can work with this license, and how can this license be enforced. So here is the bigger picture, how it's working. This is the license application, and we can see that inside the license application, we see the original application, which is not licensed, is not protected. And inside we have also an enforcement. This enforcement, first of all, is based on, let's say, API that is integrated inside the application. And this API that is provided makes sure that the application is protected, and the application will always go to this API in order to check what is the license. This enforcement can be some other things, like a protection shield that makes the application protected. Like it can be an envelope or a shield, other protection that the protection provides you. In any case, this protection means that anything that this application will do during the runtime, anything will first go to the license, make sure whether this application can work here on this machine, make sure that this application allows this user maybe to be working on this application, or if you use several functionalities inside the application, the license will be checked, verified in order to see this functionality are available or not, or maybe how many users can use this application at the same time. All these kind of things are done using the enforcement, and as said before, the enforcement is something that relates to API, shield that makes a protection, etc. So there are several ways to make the enforcement, several ways to protect the application. One of them is Sentinel RMS. You can add Sentinel RMS into the Sentinel EMS Enterprise by copying 3 files and defining these are the 3 files that are required for from the Sentinel RMS to reside on a specific place, and therefore you are able, inside the configuration of the Sentinel EMS Enterprise, you can make sure that there is the location of these 3 files is provided to the Sentinel EMS Enterprise, and then the Sentinel EMS Enterprise will be able to use Sentinel RMS in order to create, let's go back here, to create the licenses according to Sentinel RMS, because every enforcement has its own license, because license is some digital strings that can be encrypted, etc., but eventually they are belonging to enforcement, and each enforcement has some different licenses, some different definitions. So for Sentinel RMS, this is the optional that anyone who wants to use Sentinel RMS enforcement can do. One can also provide enforcement of other third-party or homegrown, something that the software vendor might invent and want to use. In order to use it, it's better to contact technical support in order to get the details, because it's not a very, let's say, a very intuitive way how to make it work. There needs to be several steps before it goes into production. The last part, the last way of enforcement is Sentinel Cloud. There is another product, Sentinel Cloud, which can be part of Sentinel EMS. In order to make the enforcement, let me go back, the enforcement will be as Sentinel Cloud, not as Sentinel RMS, not as homegrown or third party. In order to use the Sentinel Cloud, first you would need to contact Gemalto sales representative in order to get Sentinel Cloud enforcement, and then you'll be able to set in the configuration and to make sure that the cloud secrets and URL that you are provided with will be entered inside the Sentinel EMS configuration in order to be using and create licenses of Sentinel Cloud. Thank you for watching.